How we doing, folks? Soul Cougar here. I'm gonna run through a little bit of a long-winded video, but there's a reason for it. I'll explain where we are, what we're doing first of all. As you'll have noticed by the thumbnail, 1 plus 2 equals 3. You'll get the answer to that simple mathematics statement at the end of the video. Now we're out in a rare collector's tank. It's a tier 3 light tank. It's the Panzer IIJ. Now it's a German light autoloader, and it's fitted with a 20mm gun. The reason for that being, when the Panzer IIJ was first brought out, it was classed as a light reconnaissance vehicle. It wasn't a main battle tank or an assault tank or an assault vehicle, it was a reconnaissance vehicle. Now in the game, this rear tank starts off with 510 hit points. Its armour makeup is the turret has 80 at the front, 50 at the sides and 50 at the rear. The hull has 80 at the front, 40 at the sides and 50 at the rear. It has a view range of 220 metres when you're using camo nets. If you're using the optics, it's 242 metres. The concealment value is 65 stationary, 52 on the move and 18 after you've fired. Now your DPM on this, remember this is tier 3, is 1145 using calibrated shells, 1169 when you use the improved ventilation system. That's only a difference of 24 points. 24 points. The reason that is made up because your magazine reload is 5.75 seconds. And between shots is 0.13 seconds. Your shots per magazine are 4, but the shells per shot are 2. Your average pen with AP is 46, and with your APCR is 84. Your average damage from your AP is 15. 15. And with your APCR, it's 12. So even popping your 4 shots and hitting your 12 times damage, you're not going to make a lot. Your aim time, 2.6 seconds. Your dispersion is 0.315 at 100 metres. So that's 0.630 at 200 metres. 0.945 at 300 metres. So it's not a great aimer. The depression, 10 degrees, which is reasonably good, and your elevation is 20, so if you're on bottom end or ridges and hills and what have you in there above you, you can still aim up, get the lower plates and all that sort of thing. Top speed on this machine, 31. Reverse is 15, but your average speed, as you'll have seen if you were paying attention at the start, is slow. 18 is your average. It's slower than the Tortoise, the Black Prince, the Tog, and this is a tier 3 German light reconnaissance vehicle. So why it has a slow speed like that is because it weighs 17.8 tons. For its size. Power to weight ratio is 9.4. Turret turn, for those that are interested, is 26. Hull turn is 32.8. Your terrain, on the road it's 77, on the ground it's 70, and on the water it's 54. Now the reason I'm playing this in these tiers and this vehicle is because in the clan missions that you get over a period of time, you get to level 4 missions. And sometimes you have daily missions or weekly missions or whatever that to do in tier 8, 9 and 10 would take you virtually all day to accomplish. Maybe 2 days, so you would miss the opportunity of completing it. Like for instance today when I logged on. Missions to accomplish. Kill 10 light or medium tanks. 10. So in an average battle you'll get maybe 1 light, 2 meds, or 2 lights and 2 meds or whatever. But it would take you 4 or 5, maybe 6 games to try and complete that mission. That's if you can be the killer of those tanks. But in the lower tiers where they're all mainly light and medium tanks, the odd tank destroyer and the odd heavy, in tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4, you've got better opportunity to complete those missions in the lower tiers. So that was the first decision. Second decision, other mission. Earn 2 first class or ace mastery badges. Now completing those in the higher tiers, it's not every battle you're going to do it. It's not every 10th battle you're going to do it. It's not every 20 battle either. Some players, they can pull them out of the hat every time they go out. But sometimes I really have to question those players because I don't know where they pick the teams from, and I've watched so many highlighted videos put on YouTube and Twitch and other places, and you think, oh wait a minute, where did that, is that a team full of bots or is that a team full of your Discord clan mates and this is a training room game that you've shown? Because they seem to pull aces out of their hats every time they pick a tank and go out in it. And I'm not just talking about 1 or 2, I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 within the space of maybe an hour. And for your average player, even some of your unicums don't do that. But anyway, that's mission 2. 2 aces or 2 first classes. The other one, be top player in your team in 5 battles. Either top place or second place. Be in the top 2 for 5 battles. And the other one is damage the tracks of 10 different vehicles. Now, to damage the tracks of 10 different vehicles, you would at least have at least 2 games. And that would mean that in the first game you would have to damage the tracks. Not just damage them, I mean red damage, because your orange, yellow damage doesn't count. It has to be red damage. You would have to damage the tracks on all 7 vehicles in your first battle, and then get another 3 in your second battle. So that's one thing. It takes you 4, 5, maybe 6 games to get that mission done. But that gives you the opportunity to complete your missions for your clan and gain the rewards and add the little medals that you get, 2, 4, 6 on your dailies and 12, 24 on your weeklies, what have you. But that was the reason I picked this thing. So I'll go down to the lower tiers and I'll do these missions. I was on the first map, which was Middlesbrough, where we are now. And as you notice from the first game, I got the mastery. So I thought, right, that's one. I only need to get a first class now, and that's that part done. I only need to do a couple of kills, and that's that done. So that game finished, and if you see, I've put a time check on the bottom left hand corner, as you can see there. And if you check the time, it's only a couple of minutes after the first game was done. I recorded it, went back, thought, right, let's go do that again. And it just so happens I was on the same map. So, being quite content, I thought there's 2 aces. That's that mission done. I've damaged the tracks, I've killed a couple of tanks. Might be able to do that again, right? I just stick with the Panzer 2J and I'll go in again. And we ended up coming on to map number 2, because the first 2 were on Middlesbrough. So I'm still in 1 tank. I'm now on 2 different maps. And you can guess what the third one is. Where the 3 comes in the maths equation at the very beginning. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Spoiler. Now, damage wise, it's not been fantastic. It hasn't been your 1145 per minute, because then you would have to have a target in view every second of the battle, and you would have to be fully loaded when those targets were in view. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So that's one thing to take on board when you're playing World of Tank Blitz especially. Don't look at the average speed of your vehicle, because it's never always that, because the terrain is always different. Don't look at saying, oh, this scores 2,000 damage per minute, and if the game's lasting 2 or 3 minutes, I'm going to get 6,000 damage every match. No, you're not. So don't fall into that trap. Another trap not to fall into. You're seeing me, a 60,000 battle player, playing tier 3. In a rare tank, I might add. And it's a bit of a pew-pew, but there are tanks that you can't penetrate on. There are also tanks that you just can't come up, especially if you end up getting tiered 4. The likes of the Sentinel or the M7 or something. Take you half the battle to demolish those tanks. But going back to the point I just started talking about, don't fall into the trap of racing yourself through the tiers to get the higher damage, because that's when you start to lose the fun part. Because if you've went through tier 1 with 1 tank, or maybe 2, and got enough XP to buy tier 2, and then the same with tier 3 and tier 4 and tier 5 until you've climbed all the way through to tier 10, and you've only researched maybe 15, 20 tanks. You've played enough battles in them to gain the XP to build all the equipment on it, put the extra tracks, and secondary or third gun or the turret and the engine, and then you moved on to the next tier. You've battled through it, or even worse, you've used free XP that you've built up to race through all the tiers and get yourself up into a Grill or a Jagdpanzer or an E100 or a Type 71 or whatever tank you choose. Then you get up there and find out that you still haven't learned how to aim properly, what your concealment is and how to use it properly, what bushes and knockdown trees and ground cover can be used to assist your game, how your tank's different shells operate, your AP, your APCR, your heat or your HE, what damage they can cause, where you can cause damage, how you can cause damage, and you jump into your tier 10 tank and you go out and you get obliterated within the first minute. Or you look at around you and you see the rest of your team are all obliterated because nobody has taken the time to work their way through the ranks and the tanks and the tiers. So jump back into a low tier tank, have some fun and learn before you jump. Stay safe, folks.